LAT Racing Oils is invested in winning. With industry-leading at-track support, superior engineering, blending technology, and the World Championships to prove it, LAT is your premier choice for racing lubricants. Used by NHRA Pro Mod champions Jose Gonzalez and Chris Thorne along with their closest competitors, LAT Racing Oil continues to carry top-level racers to the winner's circle in all categories of competition. From engine oil to transmission fluid and gear oil, LAT has you covered from end to end in your race car. A nationwide dealer network means easy access to our products as well. Visit LATRacingOils.com for more.
Alrighty, I can tell you guys out there in the chat are ready to go. Budget Off Rods and Lizard King have joined us already. So let's go ahead and kick this off. Welcome everybody here to SimTraX Broadcasting. It's Patrick Morrison coming to you live here from the Michigan International Speedway. Excellent race we're going to be looking at here tonight as we've got a full field. I guarantee you, drivers you haven't seen in quite some time have all gathered here tonight looking to see if they can press on just a little bit more than they're used to. to see if there is enough speed out of these next-gen machines to make a difference. One of the drivers out there, Nick Nickerson, I believe, will be joining us here tonight. Long time no see. This should be his first race here with the Bandit Racing League to get kicked off. He's been missing here as of late. Eddie Haggie's going to be, I think, dicing it up out there, looking to see if he can come along with anything out there on these race cars to come up with a couple different positions out there, and we'll see and kind of hold our breath to who can come away with some sort of a win here tonight. I would say it's going to be very, very close. Who is going to be in that number one spot, who's going to be scrambling to get there to the end, and we'll see who ends up coming out victorious here. Now, I know somebody who's had a good, decent bit of success here is Jackson Knock, who is joining alongside me here tonight. And right now, I would say, as we look at this field and the drivers loading in here for their drivers meeting, that way they can hash it out of what they're to expect here for the race. Let's talk a little bit about these next-gen cars and what they do out here at Michigan.
Yeah, so obviously pretty fast here in Michigan, reaching speeds of over 200 miles an hour down the front straightaway, especially into 1 and 2. Lots of letting off, not quite braking, really wide corners. But like we've seen before, Nick Nickerson has missed pretty much all the races this season, so for him to be back in the seat, granted no practice, all season, haven't been running with most of these guys for a while, but still really fast driver. Should be able to see him win the pole, if not close to it. He's won the pole twice here at Michigan, and he has a race win in season 13.
All right, well, as we roll back, we'll see see if he can resume back to his winning ways. He obviously knows exactly what he needs to do to make some sort of a successful run here tonight. Oddly enough, we've been through a lot of the races here lately, and Nick Nickerson is the big name out there each year, has either the most wins or the most led laps, but not this track. This track actually belongs to Benjamin Lacey as the all-time lap leader here at this location. Well, I think with 123, with 123 laps over 3 different races.
Yeah. 123 laps, especially here with a lot of drafting, means a lot. Obviously we're going to see these cars in a pack real, towards the start, but I think they're definitely going to spread out, especially when pit stops start to cycle, tires start to wear down. So lead laps means a lot here. I expect to see him up front, but you never know at Michigan.
All right. Well, speaking of laps, let's go ahead and take a look at a race info here for tonight, where we end up, let me see. Yep, I should have 160 laps on the books here tonight. We'll have one stage stopping our guys here at lap number 44, 70% fuel limit out there, and 3 sets of tires down there in the pit. So they've really got to take care of these things, seeing how long they're going to be going on these tires. I mean, even if we break it down, these guys are still going to be able to run somewhere between 50 to 60 laps per set. And that's going to be running really tight there, especially if you want to make a late race win or a different pit strategy call, if you are able to survive. So we'll see it chop up here a little bit. If no one spins out, no one ends up in any trouble. But Jackson, I'm looking at at 114 degrees out here on the Michigan track. So tire wear is going to be a little bit of a factor here if guys start dive bombing there toward the inside.
Yeah, going really fast, especially on a progressive banking track. There's less banking on the inside than there's the outside. So if they start sending it on the inside, which is the fast lane on new tires, definitely going to wear them down real quick. Only thing that I have an issue with is I do believe this is 125 laps and not 160.
Bro.
I did think that 3 sets of tires was a lot. Or no, I meant not a lot for 165 laps, but I think it's 125.
Is it really?
I do believe so. I also think it is in the name.
Yeah. Well, I was looking and I'm wondering if I've been fighting this thing here lately the past couple of days. I don't know if you tuned in last night, man. I lost power and everything. So I had to reset up even all our cameras last night and everything else. Talk about a headache. All right. Because our guys are definitely locking and loading down there on pit road. Jackson, see if you can find somebody, man. You want to kind of get an inside thought of what's going to happen out here on the racetrack, because I think some of these guys are getting ready for the warm-up.
I think I'll bring Brandon Jackson up here. Brandon Jackson always seems to know what's going on, so we're going to talk to him.
All right, you do it, buddy.
Hey, Brandon Jackson, I'm in the booth. You got me?
Hi, guys.
Hi, Brandon.
Hi, Jackson.
So, Brandon, I believe you've made every single race this season, have you not?
I have not.
Have not. Okay, well, I'm just wrong about that. But you've made more than I think usually you do. So, good to see you out here running for points still. Tell me about what this race is going to be like. Tell me about tire wear. Tell me about how you're feeling, caution-wise. Is it hard to drive? Is it easy to drive? Are you braking? Tell me everything, really.
Let's see where I can start off. It's gonna be a really weird draft race. If you go to make a move on old tires, you better make it work, and you better hope you can get back in the top side, because if not, you're gonna have about 20 cars freight trained around the high side. Tire wear, I think, will play a good factor after about 15 laps. Start really kind of seeing what guys abuse, because the car, I think, for me, is very tight. So you're gonna see, what people kind of backed off a little bit, saved a little bit, or you're gonna see the people that went just straight forward and just start to maybe fall off. We might get a little bit of comers and goers here. Don't really know, but it's gonna be exciting. I'm gonna make some moves that people probably not gonna like tonight, but
that's your specialty, really.
Yeah, that's my specialty. I'm all for making moves that people are not fond of. So as long as I can try to do that and make a couple people mad, hey, I'm doing my job here in the league.
Well, good talking to you, Brandon. Good luck out there, and hopefully we don't see you in the infield care center.
I hope I don't end up in the infield care center. Everybody, y'all enjoy the broadcast. Hope it'll be a good one.
Thank you. That's Brandon Jackson, driving the number 99 Ford Mustang. I think you'll have a chance. Brandon Jackson usually does better when the setup is a little tight, I think, especially towards the end of the run, usually around the same place as I am. So excited to see where Brandon Jackson can finish today. Another driver that usually does good when the setup is tight is Curtis Yancey. When the setup is real loose, especially when the tires wear down, as we're going to see probably a lot here with such hot track conditions, should be able to see Curtis Yancey be able to save his tires more towards the end of the race. So might be a track Curtis Yancey prevails at.
Yeah, if Curtis Yancey showed up.
Oh, he didn't? Oh, well, all that speaking was in vain.
So now we're both on a 1 here. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I know a couple of people were kind of rooting on Cody Welch out there. I think that was Marshall Crocker's pick here for the race, seeing that I don't believe we'll see Curtis Yancey until after Long Beach, which I believe is our next race is after that. And we'll see how they kick it off. Benjamin Lacey, maybe that number 7 will have an opportunity here tonight. I know he's been bumped and banged around out there, and he's kind of got the Kevin Foster thing going on. No matter where he is, somebody just gets in contact with his car and folds him up pretty bad out there. Somebody who had a run last week was Nolan Gross out there in the 02 Chevrolet. Pretty quiet until about 3/4 through the race, and then just ended up in all sorts of trouble. And see how it goes. Kelly Queel out there saying, "Oh, so close." From last time we were out there, Bob Berry was another one that had some opportunities, and we'll definitely hope that the Harley-Davidson machine can do something here tonight. Now, I've had some success personally here at Michigan, and the only way I was able to find out how to do it is not use the fast lane down at the bottom. I actually ride about 3/4 of the way up and almost wall ride this thing the entire way around. Was able to find out I was able to save about 10 to 12 laps on tires later in the run. A little pit strategy, and I was coming out with easy top 5s out there. But the hard part is sticking with the draft out there, Jackson. And I would say as guys start to try to run away from this one, you may see guys who qualified in the top 5, top 10 may take that strategy and march all the way to the back. And then they'll see them possibly start attacking later on here in the race.
Yeah, modern Michigan is a lot like kind of old Daytona races, especially towards the start. We're going to see them all packed together, everyone picking and choosing lanes, just trying to bump and get to where they need to be. But later in the run, as the tires start to wear down, having to let off a lot more, they really start to single file out, run that third lane. You saw me in the 1987 cars when we were driving here, running that third lane the majority of the track, or the majority of the race, I should say. And definitely worked out well for me, especially in the 1987 cars. Everything that you do is multiplied compared to these cars. So definitely saving a lot more tire and not quite fuel, but still sticking out a lot longer than everyone else. And I believe I was able to get third, if I can remember correctly. So yeah, definitely that third lane. We're going to see a lot of drivers up there today. Brandon Jackson said that he's going to get freight trained around the high side if he tries to make a move on the bottom on old tires. So I would not be surprised to see if we just see a lot of cars running up high.
Yeah, running up high, and even at the beginning of the race, you'll find guys start down toward the bottom and then slowly fade up as the rubber begins to build on the track. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at our starting grid here for tonight. We got a lot of drivers, so let's go ahead and take a look at it. Zach Michaelis will be starting in that number 1 spot, and Ethan Sikorsky, normally in the Crunchyroll number 94, not tonight, as he'll be starting in second. Nick Nickerson sits third next to Jason Greenwell. Moving on through here to Michael Ramos, who is fifth, and Marshall Crocker, and that's Junior out there, starting on the outside of row number 3. Moving on to Brandon Jackson and Kevin Foster. Yep, no surprise there. And Stella, if you're tuned in, you'll laugh about it, by Kevin Foster being number 8. Moving on to Brett Guzik, 9th, and Joshua Sutherland. Not bad there for a top 10 start. Benjamin Lacey is in 11th. Finishing it off with Eddie Haggy. Moving on through the rest of our field. Jackson, let her rip, buddy.
Starting in 13th is David Lakey. In 14th, Peter Murphy Jr. 15th, Ricky Hart Jr. 16th is Paul Wilson. 17th is Cody Welch. In 18th place is Marshall Crocker Sr. In 19th is Bob Berry in the Harley-Davidson machine. In 20th, we have Connor Gibson. In 21st, we have Pedro Leon. In 22nd, we have Matt Crockett. 23rd, Nolan Gross. 24th, Jason Duke. 25th, Victor Weaver. 26th, Carter Phillips. In 27th, we have Bill Harkins. I don't believe he's in the nut machine. In 28th, Terry Condis. 29th, James R. Hartley. In 30th, Joshua McQuiggan, Mark Almadivans, Christopher Bassinger, and Dylan DeCastro, going green this time by green flags. They head down the front straightaway.
Excellent job getting them all squeezed in there, buddy. I was a little nervous you weren't going to make it. Great job. All right, we get under green here. Everybody take it off. But I'm showing a little trouble here already in the backfield. I'm not sure if there's already, I'm assuming we are already under caution before I can get it pulled up. I think there was a problem out there with Carter Phillips. I'm wondering if we missed a shift here.
Front end is smashed in. Especially with a hot track, cold tires, all the temperatures working against you. Long gears, but starting in second, right at the top of the gear, I would guess. Probably make some spinny tires. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw him spin the tires off the start, possibly go around. Definitely some damage both on the front of Matt Crockett and the other car. Couldn't quite tell who that was. I think you said his name.
Yeah, Matt Crockett and
yes.
Carter Phillips out there. Yeah, the number 30. Looks like the two of them got in something, but I think even Chris Bassinger got in some trouble out there. I don't know. Whoa, where is he? There he is. Looks like he ended up in some trouble too. Hopefully he plays nice out there, as he is also fighting some front end damage. Let's go ahead and take a look. I don't think they even made it to the start finish line here. 15 slacking off. Oh, tried to get the run. Yeah, well, you see why you see guys normally start nose to tail out there, is to avoid this exact situation. Yeah, because what he's trying to do is get a run here right when the green flag drops. And he punches it, so everybody else behind him thinks that, you know, that outside line is moving that way. And the 08 head of Jackson Duke had no idea. And just drills him here. Wow. Now a little fumble up here from our guys right in the beginning.
Then Christopher Bassinger goes around second time. possibly overheated tires at that point as he skid into the back of the car in front of him.
Yep. All right. At least 4 drivers come on down. The surprise one coming down is McQuicken here. Number 19 getting down here in the pit. And hopefully, whoop, little disconnect there. Trying to get back out there. I believe we should be green flag next time by. So hopefully these guys will be able to get going here. Everybody a little kind of beside themselves of what in the heck is going on, especially early in this run.
Terry Condos, our leader?
I don't think so.
I wonder how that happened. Beautiful looking paint scheme once again.
Oh, boy. Not that again. All right. Well, Terry Condos seems to start from pit every time. So with an early caution, this will normally sling him out to the front, but Condos working his way back down into pit. Hopefully we'll be able to run tonight. I think the only driver that's got me off guard here is Paul Wilson. Currently, I think he's now getting back out there. VIP glass machine.
Yeah, Ethan Sikorsky with a new paint scheme. The first time we haven't seen him in a Crunchyroll scheme. It looks like something a little bit more local that he's got on there. There's a chance he might have a official sponsor on there, FMW Solutions. Good to see him sporting something that might be paying him money. Don't know.
Cool. Well, I think somebody even out there in the chat was hanging their head when they saw the number 2 was starting tonight. I said, all right, everybody else has to go out there and try to race it out there with the with Nick Nickerson and see if they can get it going. All right. Well, you guys have seen this more than once. Perfect Shine Auto Spa. That was our caution replay involving Matt Crockett, Christopher Batzinger, and Carter Phillips out there. Let's name at least 3 of them. They got caught up in that little scuffle they had right at the beginning. Kind of a silly move. I was hoping we're going to see these guys get cranked up during practice. These guys were nudging the edge of 200 miles an hour. So we'll see them sling off turn number 2. I'm sure some guys are going to get squished into the wall. And we're going to see if these guys can stick it out there. Let's go ahead and try this again. Our first caution is raced. Here we go.
Green flag is back out again. Michaelis to the lead. Got a pretty notable gap on Nick Nickerson in second. Will Nick be able to pull him into turns number 1 and 2? Ethan Sikorsky right on Nick's bumper out of turn 2. Mostly single file throughout the field. Ethan looks outside, and now he looks inside. Pulls back in behind him.
Boy, a lot different than what I was expecting. Normally in the 87s when I saw you race, everybody was all over the track. Almost looks like everybody single files here and is trying to take it really easy right at the beginning of this race. As you can see, Joshua Sutherland in one of the 3 Toyotas out here tonight, finally peeking his nose in there. But Kevin Foster from 8th to 6th looking to go for another position as the battle for the lead. Well, that looks like Michaelis might have just forked it over and gave it to Nick Nickerson. Said, all right, well, you want the fresh air, I guess I'll give it to you. So the Coca-Cola machine will now be chasing the big red propane Ford of Nick Nickerson. No surprise to see him here in the front, Jackson.
Yeah, on the first start with fresh tires, draft means a lot. Even if Michaelis was faster than Nick Nickerson, he would not have been able to get away, especially with second place still having a little bit of clean air. But now, as we see Nick Nickerson getting away from Michaelis, just barely, Ethan Sikorsky now on the attack. 3 wide down the front straightaway, 2 rows back.
Yeah, take a look right off the edge there of Jason Greenwell. He's used to this 3 wide area. Is back in season number 9. He almost won the race on a 3 wide, so very, very close. Jason Greenwell right in his comfort zone here, up to 4th. He's feeling good.
Yeah, Jason Greenwell up front. He's also good at these tracks that are usually a little bit more tight, usually able to save his tires a little bit better than most people. As we were talking about, great Jason Greenwell at Homestead has the patience. As long as he can keep that patience high, he should be up front. Mark Allen Bivens goes around on the back through the infield grass. Not sure if he saved it. He did not. Into the
He did
into
not.
the cones. Bad damage from Mark Allen Bivens.
He did not.
He
No
did not.
caution here. Take a replay looking at the top side. Little scrub there with the paint. Guzik dumps him.
Oh. I haven't seen that graphic.
Yeah, that's an inside joke here at SimTraX. We got the All About Barrels Award. Anytime somebody slings down and ruins their race by smashing into the pit wall barrier. Unfortunately, that's going to do it for Bivens. I don't think we're going to see him return after that one. That was a hard hit.
I think Mark Allen Bivens might be dead. That's okay. He's the points leader. He'll recover. Into the wall goes Michaelis. Everyone's stacking up behind him. They're going to be able to figure it out. Multiple cars got sideways down the back straightaway. Now 3 wide, entering turns number 3 and 4. They're going to make it back down to 2 wide. David Lakey blinking as he usually does.
Boy, talk about a tough race here. Guys shuffling all over the track as we get up here in the Goodyear blimp view. Able to take a look down because right now these guys are shuffling all over, front to back, side to side. Guys going high, guys low. And right now, once again, looks like we got somebody contesting out there for another 3 wide. Kevin Foster might fall the trap to it, as Connor Gibson, I believe, is involved in part of that 3 wide.
Is this more closer to what you're expecting to see?
There we go. Yes, this is more like it. Up to speed, tires laid down. We got guys, here we go, in the draft, 204 miles an hour. That's what I'm talking about. So as we got Eddie Hagge moving up, unfortunately, since he's been falling backwards the same way that Benjamin Lacey was, but not as bad as Brett Guzik. Guzik's down now 8. He's sitting 17th. Right now he's hating this race as he would love to get up toward the front, but no can do. A couple of guys who have been moving up, though. 8th and Peter Murphy in the 38 Toyota. He's currently sitting 6th. Cody Wells sitting 9th.
Oh, they almost go around in the back. Not quite sure who that was. Bill Harkins going to be able to recorrect himself. Mark Allen Bivens back out on track. He's going to be 2 laps down.
Boy.
2 cars ahead of him are both 1 lap down. Might be able to make it back up, but he's going to need some luck.
Boy, good thing there's a faster pair here, but that is already used up in the first 10 laps of his race. That is going to be extremely painful here for Mark Allen Bivens. But we've seen crazier things. This guy has been able to recover multiple times, but hopefully he does not continue, as he has got to be super careful here tonight. So moving on to Victor Weaver. Somebody out there in the chat is rooting him on, saying he has got to win this race. Right now, the NOS machine, we've seen him make it a good chunk here of these races, but hasn't really been able to kind of follow through out there. Get a little bang up, little scuffles out there. I would say more than one of these super speedway races might be his flavor. I'm wondering if that 18's got the kind of the gumption here to fight his way up to the front. Currently in 22nd, he's up 3, but he's got to get at least another 15 to be in a nice, comfortable spot, and not right here.
Yeah, for sure. As he almost makes contact with that number 6 car, getting very loose. Yeah, definitely a hornet's nest back there. Everyone together. Random runs, especially in this next-gen car with so much drag. The runs are crazy once you get some good drafts. So definitely people going to be in your blind spot, not going to be expecting them. Going to be a lot of scary moments here today.
Yeah, here's Brett Guzik going up there, and uh-oh. Buddy, I think you made enough contact with him today. Boy.
Yeah, Mark Allen Bivens and Brett Guzik can't seem to get away from each other. When he came back onto track, he was right with Brett Guzik. So,
Guzik. Dude.
Terry, that's not Terry Connis. Is that Paul Wilson, the number 82?
That was the 82.
Good correction by Paul Wilson.
Look at what it's done to the field. Everybody's spread out. You got Flower opening up, man, and everybody's scattering everywhere. Holy cow. All right, well, as looks as everybody. Let's try to move here to the front of the field for a little bit and let these guys maybe not feel that the camera time's starting to put some heat on them. Let's see if we can check in on Jason Greenwell. I think Greenwell's been, unfortunately, falling backwards. He was 4th, now to 6th, as Brandon Jackson, who you talked to earlier, has now fought himself up to the 5th position. I think he runs his, Brandon Jackson runs his own stream out there. So sometimes you can even see what he's seeing inside of his car. I will warn you, though, the language is a little rough sometimes, but in racing, he would assume he's in his own helmet.
Yeah, Brandon Jackson usually doesn't like it when you look at his stream after race, but still continues to stream anyways. But lots of contact going up on here. Brandon Jackson now looking for third. Peter Murphy tried to get to the outside of Michael Ramos, but couldn't quite make it that time by. He's going to look once again. We look now on board with Marshall Crocker Jr. as he tries to make his way around Greenwell. Greenwell just continues to file back, everyone getting around him on the high side. But Jason Greenwell hopefully has something saving it up in the tank for later. But at the moment, slowly filing towards the back.
He is having a heck of a time right now as he fades up. Is able to keep it down there toward the bottom. Button back up to his 6th position, but still trying to work up to the front. Now, I'm impressed right now that Nick Nickerson is able to lead so many laps. Nobody's really contesting this guy. Everybody else is pushing back and forth between 2nd and 6th, and nobody's really kind of attacking that guy out front. But as I say that, right now Brandon Jackson is kind of making a bid for it there as he's working around Ethan Sikorsky. He's chopping through here, and Cody Welch. Welch now almost thinking about setting 4 wide there with Connor Gibson, but no can do. Everybody settles down here for a little bit, and once again they will fan out heading into turn number 1. Only 18 laps into this one. Guys are working their way up to the front, and a lot of them are actually working their way backwards. Oddly enough, I don't know how that's going to work out. Yeah, right now some of our highest points leaders are back in the back of the field here. I'm wondering if they're just expecting the big one and want no part of it.
There's always a chance of that. I knew I would usually be towards the back at most super speedways, but this one's a little bit different. I would always try to get to the front, especially the fact that, you know, towards the back it's real easy to pass because everyone has about the same amount of dirty air, except for the leader. Nick Nickerson might be saving and yet still keeping ahead of them. No one can quite get around Nick because he has clean air, but we're going to see Ethan Sikorsky try. He goes low. Brandon Jackson up a little bit on Ethan Sikorsky, but couldn't quite get it just yet. Ethan's a little loose. Brandon's going to get to his outside. He's going to take 2nd away from Ethan.
Boy, just see one step out there, and it costs him here. Brandon Jackson getting that huge run you were talking about. 99 to the inside, and he's got to check up just a little bit. Don't want to ride up in our leader. He's been respectable so far here during this race. But now Brandon Jackson has got to start George drafting him here, and do not let him get away. Right now, keep on the pressure. So far as they're running up on some lap traffic, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's Victor Weaver they're running up on.
I believe it is. I'm not sure what happened to him to go so far back. He doesn't seem to have a lot of damage, but really slow on that bottom lane, letting everybody by. Not a good start for Victor Weaver.
Yeah, lap number 16.
He's 2 laps down.
He came in the pit. Yeah, I'm not showing any spin out, no off track, nothing like that. But Victor Weaver, yeah, down pit road, 4 tires and fuel, lap number 16. I don't know if he's had a connection problem or what happened out there. But he is on the march backwards. But we're our new leader, okay, taking over Brandon Jackson here on lap number 21. He's going to go ahead and kick it off and get lap number 20. Awesome job. So keep moving on through. I noticed somebody else has been keeping an eye out there for McQuiggan, but Pedro Leon, there's a name we say a few times, is bringing out our caution down into the grass. And seeing the angle of those tracks, it wasn't good.
Luckily, able to avoid those barrels. Oh, is that Brett Guzik? Looks destroyed. He's going to have to tow it.
Whoa.
Brett Guzik has made contact with just about everything so far.
All right.
We'll see what happened here.
Yeah, do these two get in it?
Oh, boy. Oh.
Bro.
Mark Allen Bivens is out of it as well. There's no coming back from that for Mark, unless it just magically fixed itself just now.
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way Bivens is able to continue that.
Yeah, Brett Guzik seemed to just come up the track way too early. Maybe got really tight. Not sure.
All right, we're going to try to roll it back just a little bit and see if maybe we can see beginning of the turn. I'm wondering, you know, if he just tried to send it in here. They're way off pace. All right, Guzik
Throws it in, goes.
yeah, hard cut down. Right there.
The marked car looks destroyed, but if we look here, iRacing seems to just fix it like that. So maybe a little bit of good luck for Mark Allen Bivens. That car looks fresh.
Not for Guzik, though. That might be a broken toe link here. I think that's why he had to tow. He couldn't move. Oddly enough, the caution comes out for Pedro Leon looping it. He was the one who ended up with the least amount of damage. Check out there. Mark Allen Bivens still rolling around.
Not going down pit road. He's got to go get those laps back, but we see all the leaders down pit road. Lap 23. Do we think they're getting tires?
Checking out there, no, not currently. Some of our fastest times, 7.9, 6.87. Some are taking tires. Drivers like Jason Greenwell, Ethan Sikorsky. These guys took tires. Hartley may have taken some with 11-second pit stop there. Back here in the 21st position, it looks like Dylan DeCastro in the 23 Toyota took 4 tires and fuel, and 10 seconds flat for Crocker Sr. out here. Yeah, a lot of them do seem to be picking up some damage repair here. One note is Bob Berry. Yeah, currently Bob Berry has been sitting down there for over a minute in the box.
Not a good start to the race for Bob Berry.
Yeah, Budget out there is saying maybe there was a bad spotter call out there by Brett Guzik. May have said clear, but I don't know. I highly do not recommend iRacing spotter. I use a different option, crew chief.
Especially on a... Sorry.
Yeah, especially on a super speedway. I think that's where you're going.
What I was going to say is especially on a wide track. There's a certain distance in between cars to where the iRacing spotter decides that you're clear, even if there's a car all the way on top. Tracks like Michigan, tracks like Homestead, if you're all the way on the bottom, and there's a car all the way on the wall, it'll tell you you're clear until you come up the track and murder yourself and someone else.
Wow. Yeah, see, that was... I couldn't do that. The reason I started looking is short tracks, things like Bristol or something like that. I needed to know when I was clear so I could go ahead and get back to my normal racing line instead of, kind of a passing mode, I guess, trying to slide, move your way up to the front. I like the adjustability of being able to tell me what, how soon before I'm clear, rather than iRacing taking its sweet time to let me know by that point you've moved up, you're not clear, and here we are. All right. Second caution here of the night. Lap number 25. That'll leave us with 100 to go. But stage break will be at 44. Guys already taking tires early into this run. We'll see how this goes. Yep. You see how they're kind of fading back a little bit here. Around that Ricky Hart area. Gotta crunch it up here. Because what he'll end up doing is Joshua Sutherland will end up getting a run here at the beginning. Everybody getting excited. Yeah, you see the accordion back there around Jason Greenwell. And they are already smashing into each other. Kevin Foster backs up and decides not to let it happen. And the green flag comes back out. Cody Welch squeezed in there pretty tight. And right now he's enjoying it. He's figuring out, hey, man, as long as I got somebody solid behind me like Benjamin Lacey, and he's got Marshall Crocker Jr. in front of him, he's probably in a safe spot out there.
Yeah, for sure. We see a lot of fast names up here. Cody Welch, I believe, was Marshall Crocker Jr.'s pick for the win. So he's finally getting up front in fourth currently, battling with Marshall Crocker Jr.
Boy, his own race
Looking
pick.
outside on Nick.
Yeah. Well, Nick was pretty quiet. I was impressed seeing Michaelis returning back to the lead. With him getting back out front. Nice to have that number one spot down pit road as he was able to squeeze on out. But once again, we've seen two of our previous leaders, Brandon Jackson getting back into the lead, and Nick Nickerson sitting in second. Nobody here in the top 13 drivers took tires out there. Jason Greenwell is currently sitting down in 14th on the freshies, and he's already working his way up now to 13th.
Yeah, Jason Greenwell going to be really fast, but when those tires start to even out, when he finally puts those tires at their limit, you know, how fast is he really going to be? Especially towards the end of the runs. We're now 3 wide down the front straightaway. Jason Greenwell in the middle of it. I believe he is the aggressor.
Yeah, Greenwell trying to make a few paths here as he continues to push his way up to the front. Quick brake check there, as it looks like currently, if I'm not mistaken, that looked like Ricky Hart was working his way on down. Hart giving a quick little shove there to the 38 machine of Peter Murphy. Right now, this is definitely crazy stuff happening here as you see Connor Gibson in the Snap-on machine hovering there in the back. And I tell you what, I don't know where the fast lane is. You do see, boy, that merge coming up. I just don't know how these guys don't have that pucker factor right when they get there. Greenwell now up to 7th as they continue to charge forward. And I would say we're going to see Greenwell at least here, maybe top 3 before the stage break.
Yeah, all these drivers finding every lane possible except for right down on that line. And 1 and 2 definitely cannot go down there. Scrub up speed, especially a lot with everyone coming on your outside. As third caution comes out. Lap 28. It's Bill Harkins.
Yeah, show him as the slowest driver out there. I'm not quite sure what got him. I would even say, looking at something like this, what do they do and don't cause cautions on? I figure the slam into the wall there with Guzik. We take kind of an overhead look. Bill Harkins, whoop! What?
And gonna keep it off the wall.
Yeah. It could have been 10 times worse. It just, see if we can hover just a little bit closer here.
I see he gets a little loose, comes down on Pedro. Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't come down on purpose.
Saves it, though.
Yeah, a little bit of damage on that left rear corner panel, but shouldn't affect him too much. As long as there's no front end damage, should be fine here at Michigan.
Yeah, I'd take that over having any damage in the front. Let's check it on Pedro. I want to see how bad his is. I see something right there underneath the Mustang. Oh, there it is.
Some of that front end seems to be pushed out instead of in. Right on the front.
All right, Coach. That doesn't look good. All right, so anybody with damage, this is a great opportunity to come back on down, get some of that fixed. I think Pedro Leon is thinking just that. Into pit road he goes. Carter Phillips, he's actually been down here. This should be his 3rd time here tonight. Try to see if he can square that 30 away. Remember, he had trouble back there on the first start of the race. 30 got mashed up pretty bad out there, so a couple other drivers. Bob Berry working his way back out of pit road, 9-second pit stop. And Mark Allen Bivens. Remember, he enjoyed a little Guzik to the side there.
A little Guzik to the side.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe they'll e-hug it out, buddy. I still have that on a post-it note over here. I said, "Oh, what?" I will say, I think the 04 has taken it back to the garage here tonight, though.
Yeah, Brett Guzik went multiple laps down, so I would guess he feels he's just done.
Yeah, 8 minutes there in the pit box. I don't think he is going to recover. Wow. Early down and out here for Brett Guzik. Huh. All right. Well, Should be double stacking now, guys. Getting back on the back in line here, back in formation to get this one under green. Would say a good stretch of green flag laps, man. There was a lot of stuff happening out here. And how how do you think as a driver when you see so many things happening in front of you, do you have the discipline to sit back and watch it? Do you just hang around on that top line, or do you get in the mix like Jason Greenwell or Connor Gibson and just send it up the middle?
I don't have the discipline personally. I send it up the middle. I take advantage of everything that I get. So, I'm a little aggressive. But I can't speak for all the other drivers.
Huh. All right, that's a good idea. Yeah, I would say it also depends on the position of your race. I mean, if you're hovering around, let's say 19th, hey, it's time to start moving. Your car's feeling good. Everybody else feels they're slowing down, and then start attacking. Absolutely. Second or third lap, I don't know. Everybody gets really jittery around that time. Not bad.
All right, out of turn 4, going green this time by on Jackson. Green flag is back out waving here once again. Brandon Jackson started on the hot side, took advantage of the choose cone rule and is going to get a real good start.
Yeah, easy peasy. I would say the definite 100% where you want to start is going to be that outside lane. We should probably hang back here where the trouble's already brewing. And
Marshall
there
Crocker
it goes.
Jr. They both save it. Caution flag is still out.
No way. No way. Saved it?
He was completely sideways facing the inside wall. Joshua going through the grass.
Yeah, I was watching the 45 out there. And through 1 and 2, he had dropped that thing below the paint and was coming back up with the 3 wide already sitting above him. And I wasn't sure how ugly this was going to get right at the beginning there. Let me see if we can take a peek here as our caution flag is back out. Right here. See? What?
Nothing else happened on the track? That was what the caution was for?
That's it.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. I'm a little beside myself here. I don't quite know why. Right back here. There's the spin. Nothing happened. That's it.
And it was off track as well. Was this a admin thrown caution or an iRacing caution?
Unknown. I would wonder if Crocker was too far sideways enough to trip it.
There's a chance of that.
So we'll see if I can find if he's past 90 degrees. See if I can find. Yeah, maybe because the roof flap came up, and then that was it.
I'm not sure what it bases itself off of.
All right. Looks like RC's kicking him to the curb here. Back of the line for the 45.
To me, it looked more like a racing incident, but I'm not the judge.
Oh yeah, racing incident. I think this is going to be caused for a caused caution. Who was at fault? Junior looked like he was keeping his line straight there, and the 45 was merging in. As I believe, boy, is that tire marks on the side of his car, or is that just the paint?
Did iRacing add tire marks?
I hope not.
No, it's just paint.
Cool. Okay. That would have been a lot cooler if they did.
Yeah, that would be cool.
All right. I would say, how many caution laps we run here tonight?
Too many so far.
I'll agree with that. Too many. All right, so Nickerson's actually going to be starting on the inside line. Lane choice goes to Brandon Jackson out there. There's a lot of Jacksons going on here. Brandon Jackson, Jackson Duke, Jackson Knox. What the heck is going on here?
I'd say there's too many Jacksons. I say we make it one.
Normally it's a Josh or a David or a Tyler thing.
Yeah, especially Ty or Tyler. So many of those.
All right. Pace car lights should be going out here. Be coming back on down. K-Doggy joining us. We'll see how we get this one going again. Jackson and Nickerson racing from first and second as the tale is old as time. Yep. I would say, I think when I saw Brandon Jackson return back when I saw him there in season 13, that guy was a menace, but apparently he's got his groove back and he's back in it. We'll see how he gets going. All right. Rounding out our top 10, Chris Bassinger will be setting up 22 positions from where he originally started. We'll see if that number one car can come back in like he did last race. Green flag back out. Let's try this again.
Yeah, Jackson again with a really good restart, getting away from Nick Nickerson. But Nick has been able to pull him in just a little bit every single time. Cody Welch up to third, getting around Michael Ramos, now losing 2 positions. Joshua McQuiggan looking high. Eddie Haggie's going to use that run on the high side as well. Jason Greenwell just stuck behind, nowhere to go. But Ramos moving back as if he's on older tires.
Yep, everybody here on older tires. The only one on fresh ones still sets Jason Greenwell. And I believe looking at...
wide out of turn number 4. Jason Greenwell sent it in. He was the aggressor. He's going to make it work down the front straightaway. Like you said, Jason Greenwell on those fresh tires. That's really what helped him prevail out of turns number 3 and 4.
Yep, over 37 seconds sitting in the pit box there for Bassinger, who's currently sitting in 8th, who was on the farthest inside of that 4 wide. Whoa! Quick move there. I think 27 is something loose here.
Yeah, something's definitely going wrong on that 27 car. Not handling the way he wants it to. That 12 car of Michaelis gets in the marbles on the high side. He's going to lose the position to Ethan Sikorsky. Ethan now looking high side. He's going to use the draft of Benjamin Lacey. He's also going to get around the number 27 car.
Boys, all this happens up front. Dylan DeCastro drops down to the 16th position. Apparently he got a little loose back there in the 23, looking to see if he can fight back up to the front, but he's got a ways to go to fight with these guys that we're looking at currently. Ramos finally stops here in the 10th spot. Benjamin Lacey getting up to 9th. But I would say who's in the lead? McQuiggan. Take a look at that. The 19 is up 29 positions here on the night and is continuing to charge forward. But Greenwell showing what the fresh tires can do. Out front he's going to go. And he's looking to see if he can knock down a lap. Yes, he will. Lead lap here for Jason Greenwell. But can he take away the stage win? Right now, I got a lot of guys saying no can do, as I am currently looking at a huge shove from Eddie Haggie to the back end of Brandon Jackson's number 99.
Yeah, Brandon Jackson going to be able to clear Cody Welch off the corner. Now going to get single file. Eddie Haggie with a huge run, even though he had run the bottom. That draft working off of Jason Greenwell. He's now 3 wide with Cody Welch and Ethan Sikorsky. Ethan with a big run up high. He's going to try to get to the outside of Brandon Jackson. It's going to work for him. Brandon Jackson getting side drafted on both sides. Going to get back down to double file.
Off the racing surface goes Jason Greenwell, who's trying to hold on. See if he can get that lead back. He cannot. McQuiggan still holding in the line. But the 83 of Vanatech machine has got a little something for him. Somebody else who may have taken tires. Chris Bassinger is looking to see if he can hold on to the number 2 position as they shoot down the backstretch here. Here we go from our booth. looking forward at the number 1. He goes ahead and secures the number 2 spot. That's 30 positions on the night. Talk about something when you start 32nd here. He is fighting his way up to the front, but man, look at these guys getting loose. Contact with the wall there in the back. I think Ricky Hart has gone ahead and clearance that right side just a little bit as he right now occupies 13th.
Yeah, Jason Greenwell with a really good race so far. Is the stage on lap 44? Or am I wrong about that?
Yes, lap 44, but after the completion of 44.
Yes, so start of lap 45. Will he be able to hold off Christopher Basker? Christopher goes low on the inside, uses a little bit of side draft on entry. Can have a bit of a run through the corner. As long as he can stay on his side, he will have him down the front straightaway. Jason Greenwell goes high. Still side by side. Jason Greenwell with the run. Going to be able to get away from him down the front straightaway. He's going to have to hold him off for 2 more laps.
And right now it seems it's going to be the duel between these two. Sikorsky off by over a quarter of a second. Passenger going to be reeling him in here. Outside line is going to be some positive area as he tries to reel him in. Greenwell trying to break loose of the draft though, but Massinger not falling for it, continuing to follow his Ford. All Fords here in the top 5 as they continue to charge forward. Only 3 laps left as we get through turn 3 and 4. Now to the front stretch, Greenwell starting to put a little bit of distance here on Christopher Bassinger.
Yeah, that time by, Bassinger tried to follow Greenwell's line. It didn't quite work out for him. Had a little bit of dirty air that allowed Ethan Sikorsky to get to his inside with clean air. Ethan Sikorsky now going for it. Caution flag waves. Jason Greenwell going to be our stage winner.
I think Matt Crockett is our guy in it. Matt Crockett, looks like Bob Berry Sr. went off. Connor Gibson went off. Looking to see. I'm wondering, is Gibson broken?
Gibson looks broken and towed.
Whoa. Budget Ride Off-Roads is asking how many laps can we get to a tank? Not mistaken, 70% on next gen. We should be looking somewhere around the 30 or so mark. 30, mid-40s. I don't want to be wrong and tell them the wrong thing here. Let's take a look here. We'll see if we can get more information on fuel tank length. Oh, my gosh.
Ooh, big loose for Connor Gibson up into Ricky Hart Jr. Matt Crockett coming in a little bit later. I assume there it is. David Lakey involved as well. Everyone else going to be able to scatter around. Marshall Crocker Sr. getting into it. Bob Berry through the infield grass. Just barely avoid that.
Oh, yeah. Crab walking. What a hit, though. All right, we got to figure out what caused Connor Gibson getting out of shape here right at the beginning. See if we can find out what...
Man, everyone just came in right at the last second.
That's gotta hurt. Let's see this again. Here's a hit. You think you're okay. Hit again and again. Dude. Check it, Matt. Here, trying to see where that might have been what happened. Trying to avoid the wreck.
Luckily, everyone seems to have been able to avoid Matt Crockett. A little bit of contact with the wall, but a little bit of repairs, and he should be okay.
This is where everybody's spinning out. Oof.
Kind of looked like someone went upside down, but I might be wrong. think I'm wrong.
I mean, look how close he misses. And the 84, boom! Crushes him.
He almost had it saved.
Wow, so David Lakey was involved in that caution out there. Bummer. All right, well,
Is David Lakey out of fast repairs?
I believe that should be his first one, so he's good to go.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
About a third of the way through the race, I would say. Not exactly a math guy, but believe we're pretty close.
Nice. All right. Yep, we're coming up on lap number 50 here pretty soon. Right now, I believe right now we have... yeah, third of the way through the race is lap number 40. Yeah, about lap 42.
Okay, so I was a little off, but, you know.
Robin Allen, that is the craziest way to spell avoid.
Let's take a look at this. Oh.
It took me a while. I was like, do what? All right, let's get back to it here.
Avoid for the damage? Green flag.
Junior out front. Not bad. Cody Welch's Chevrolet still hangs in there for fifth. We'll see if he can last. Woo! Just as I say that, Welch gets a little knobby here. Maybe those fresh tires are tripping him up a little bit. And now he is one of the drivers that did take tires. Greenwell Ambassador did not. Yellow. That's 6.
Caution flag waves again.
I think the 45 involved again.
Well, as well as that is Carter Phillips, I believe. And Senior.
Yeah, showing Josh Sutherland, Jackson Duke, and Carter Phillips involved. And yeah, Senior is back here. That was 77. I wasn't sure if he had caught up yet or not. It looks like he's already making... No, okay. Thought he was making a beeline for pit road there. Connor Gibson. Man, that guy just got repaired.
Never catch a break. He looks to be wobbling a little bit.
Yeah, I would hope that he's out there making sure his suspension's not torn to pieces again. Car seems in good shape, though. All right.
I don't know just yet.
See if we can find out what happens to Sutherland here. Scrubbing down on the bottom. Ooh!
Oh.
Carter Phillips off the wall. No doubt about that one. Car gets maimed.
Real good camera view.
And whoa.
Just got loose by himself.
Too much. Oh. Jackson Duke almost made it out of there. All right. Well, a little looseness out there by Connor. Or excuse me, by Carter. He gets a little mucked up here. Jackson Duke. Looking to see if he can finish it up out there. I think one of the drivers out there normally hanging out with the 7000 Motorsports crew. Boy, and the woes continue. Oh boy. Alright, well they're taking some bets out there of our amount of caution flag laps out there. Well, caution flags, I think. Hopefully we do not end up at that many.
Yeah, I would prefer not that many.
Oh, come on, Jackson. Is there somewhere you want to be? What better place than here with the Bandit Racing League, buddy?
Well, you know, there's always other things happening. Love to be here at the Bandit Racing League, but got things waiting for me after the race. So.
I like where this is going. All right, Marshall Crocker is sitting in that number 1 position. Jason Greenwell second. Ethan Sikorsky, I believe, will be starting actually in 4th there on the outside as Chris Bassinger moves up there just a little bit, so he should be our 3rd place starter. We'll only give you the first two rows there because that's normally where everybody starts shuffling after that. Currently, I believe we have had enough cautions to lucky dog Victor Weaver back to the lead lap. So, any Victor Weaver fans out there, this is your chance. There we go. Yep, Robin Allen out there. Boy. See, this is what I was talking about, Jackson. This is not how I saw this going.
Not at all?
No, I thought maybe, I don't know. I was thinking maybe 2, and one of them being the stage.
Yeah, me too. I really expected almost no cautions here today. I thought we'd go a lot of caution-free racing, green flag pit stops, but not quite yet. Still hopeful. Possibly, you know, always a lot of crashes right before the stage. But now that that's over, hopefully we get a little bit cleaner. But Marshall Crocker Jr. leading us to the green. Jason Greenwell still up there in 2nd, one of his best races all year so far. Don't mean to jinx him. Cody Welch getting up to 3rd.
Yeah, had to do it. Had to do it. I love it. All right.
Yeah, that's my bad.
All right. We're hopping on top of Victor Weaver's car, looking forward. Unfortunately, he's on the march backwards here. Taking a look, lap number 44, he did not take tires. And I think that was some of the fall that we saw earlier from one of our drivers who was sitting up in the number 1 spot. Currently, woo. Yeah, that top side is not ready. I don't know if I'd be riding that close. There you go. There's a nice, comfortable spot. So Victor's starting to finally feel it out there. Notice that top line is still a little cold, so might want to leave it alone there for just a bit. We move back up to Nick Nickerson, who snugs back into the 3rd position, but not looking to stay there long. He took 4 tires back on lap number 44. We've been under, I believe, at least 2 cautions since then. So those things are still fresh. We'll see how it's going. Right now, Budget out there rooting on for 14. Who is dive bombing there to the inside?
I believe that is Eddie Haggy all the way down there. They're going to be 4 wide off the corner, barely scraping. The back bumper of Christopher Bassinger was Ethan Sikorsky. They're going to make it back down to 2 wide. I believe Peter Murphy, the only Toyota in the field. He's in 7th, making his way up a little bit faster than the cars in front of him, but cannot find a way around. Brendan Jackson on his bumper, he wants to go somewhere too, but can't quite get there.
All right,
Greenwell on the way back to 5th. Oh, Nolan Gross goes around. No caution yet.
Look out.
Come on, Nolan, save it. Nolan Gross going to save it. Completely sideways down the entire back straightaway. A little bit more contact with the 6 car and the 27 of Michael R. Ramos. Michael has a little bit of front end damage now. It's absolutely going to ruin him here at Michigan. Not what you want to see.
But his race still continues. Absolutely amazing. Now show Nolan Gross is still mobile as well.
Yeah, incredible save by Nolan Gross. If we were able to watch his possibly in-car camera, that'd be pretty insane.
See if we can find something out there. I don't. How he's still in one piece is something. All right, let's stick up to our guys up front as I work on a replay here.
Cody Welch now looking to the inside of Marshall Crocker Jr. He got a little bit tight, got on the wall on exit of 4, but Nick Nickerson pushing him all the way down the front straightaway. Now looking inside once again. Not enough of a run. Nick Nickerson's going to have a run on him. To the outside, looks not going to get there that time.
All right, we're going to take a quick peek while everything slows down just a little bit here. There should be my guy, Nolan.
Completely to the left. Kept it hooked to the left, and it just came back to him.
And was able to recover. And that's something. Look who, now, of course, quick snap your fingers, and Nick Nickerson resumes back to the lead position. He's going to be looking to lead some more laps. This is going to chop down on Benjamin Lacey's all-time lap leading list here. Right now, where in the world is Lacey? Lacey
can't seem to quite make it up there.
11th.
He's had a solid race all day, but just can't quite get up to that lead pack.
Talk to me about Welsh in this 3 wide here. Down on the bottom, Murphy, Sikorsky up high. Oh boy. Hopefully Sikorsky can hold it up top. I think he's got a good chance. Look who else is going to send it in.
Brandon Jackson looks low. He gets a little sideways off exit, but he's going to be able to collect it with a lot of speed. Cody Welch getting side drafted on both sides. Now going to get a little bit of side draft on Ethan Sikorsky. He looks low, but Peter Murphy was all the way back there. We talked about him earlier. Peter Murphy just trying to get around at everyone. He gets up to second this time by. Or third, sorry.
The amount of distance that Nickerson is already getting on these guys is staggering. Only a couple laps led here on this next stint. 0.3 of a second out in front of Crocker Jr. and then another 0.2, so almost half a second on the rest of the field. Nice and easy. Normally you can't survive out there by yourself at Michigan without help, but he is showing and proving that to be otherwise. Right now, rounding out our top 12 is going to be Zach Michaelis, but we have to look a second and a half back to find out where everybody is scattered, where Matt Crockett's now leading the charge here for group number 2. Joshua Sutherland, the cause of a couple of cautions here tonight, sits 14th. Dylan DeCastro not far behind, but still has a lot of work to do. He's got to make up a second as well. That number 59 is underway. Murphy has gone ahead and gotten around Junior here, and he is trying to see, can he hold it through 2? Yes, he will. Great job. But let's kind of hone in on Eddie Hagee, who's right now in a tight spot.
Yeah, Eddie Hagee's been trying to make his way up towards the front this whole time, but just keeps on getting put in bad situations and bad spots. Now he was 3 wide that time by. Gonna almost make it 3 wide on exit, but now behind the 3 wide. Just can't seem to get in the position that he needs to get around these guys. And Nick Nickerson being so far ahead, we got to think about, is he driving like there's going to be another short caution, or is he saving? It's hard to think about him being up front, with no draft yet, still somehow pulling away that fast. You got to think he's driving as hard as possible. Will that come into play later with everyone getting back around him, or is he somehow saving and still ahead of these guys?
No, he's already won at this race before, so should be a piece of cake for him. So look to see if he can repeat what he did last season. But still a lot of work left to do out there. Right now, I would say somebody, I think a sleeper out here is going to be somebody we're going to see. Oof. Boy, talk about taking that full run there by Paul Wilson, going ahead and sending it into the back of Eddie Hagee. I'm hoping he's not praying for a clean race here tonight. What happened to James Hartley? Showing sliding through the grass here. Now he's down pit road. I don't know if the number 6 had something go wrong there. Let's get back to our guys up front.
Don't see any physical damage, but definitely something wrong with that number 6 car.
All right, Dalton Kilrow out there is even in the chat. Appreciate you, buddy. Help tune in out here just a little bit. Tell me what in the world's going on out there on the track. Currently under speed out there is Carter Phillips. Right now he's fallen off by 12 seconds at minimum off the lead. And he is just trying to keep it alive out there. Right now I'm wondering if this is going to be the end of our caution fest. And right now we're noticing a lot of guys taking their time, picking a couple of different lanes here. So, Jackson, when we kind of back up a little bit and look at this, if we did not have stage breaks here, would guys be racing like it's the end of the race, early in the race?
I don't think so. I think stage racing definitely creates a little bit more anxiety, makes people want to get to the front, battle a little bit harder. We've seen this, I think, in every bandit race so far this season. Everyone races really hard, lots of cautions in the first, I believe, 35% of the race. And then there's a big green flag run after the stage. Obviously, until towards the end, then people start wrecking a little bit more. But, if we can keep them from wrecking a little bit more, especially at a track like Michigan, where they're going to be spread out after a long green flag run. So we saw Marshall Crocker get into the side of Peter Murphy. But, if we can get them spread out, especially towards the end from here, I think we can see a really long green flag run, possibly green flag finish.
I agree with that. Taking a look at Cody Welch, trying to see if we can use a little bit of the draft from Marshall Crocker Jr., who's currently sitting in third. As Crocker rolled back up, Cody lost the draft, and now I noticed that Benjamin Lacey's starting to kind of hint up there to the 85, and hopefully the 785 team can get on board here and start working together. I think sometimes they're out there trying to kill each other, but regardless. I would assume the 785 team would kind of clump together here and start working their way back up to the front. But it looks like Benjamin Lacey's able to get enough passes there to kind of get himself a little wiggle room as that door gets shut here by Brandon Jackson down onto the bottom. Lap number 65 is underway, led by Nick Nickerson, Peter Murphy, and Marshall Crocker, holding our top three, followed by Eddie Hagge and Cody Welch for our top five. But look at Welch make a quick move all the way from the high side down to the bottom. That's going to allow the 78 to roll up toward the top. And his tires were last taken on lap 33. He's the one out there on the oldest rubber. And right now, I think he's praying that caution will probably show it happen.
Eddie Hagge pushing the back bumper of Cody Welch heavy down the front straightaway, trying to get around Marshall Crocker Jr. as we saw Cody Welch make a dangerous move from the high side to the bottom, almost 4 wide last time by when they went into turn 3. But now single filing out. Eddie Hagge with a little bit of a push from Benjamin Lacey. Benjamin Lacey tries to go low, but it's too late. Everyone's single file down the back straightaway. Eddie Hagge looks low on Peter Murphy once again. Benjamin Lacey follows.
He come up with any more speed out there as they get through 3 and 4. Little smack to the wall there by Eddie Hagge, and then Benjamin Lacey gives him a shove to get him back up to speed. So all is well, but Eddie Hagge's body team's not going to be real happy to see that car heading back in. Right now, Hagge holding 4th. Welch is in the 3rd, though. Nickerson continuing to lead this race, but almost by an astronomical amount. Taking a look back, that's 2nd. How this guy's doing it. Wow.
Yeah, you got to think, especially on older tires, what that clean air is doing for him. Obviously, Marshall Crocker Jr. is so far behind that, no fault of his own, but Marshall Crocker Jr. is so far behind that you got to think he's probably got just as much clean air as Nick Nickerson, but just battling so hard that, Eddie Hagge gets a little loose, but battling so hard that they can't quite get back up there.
Yeah, can anyone come up with an answer for Nick Nickerson and his now growing lead of 1.3 seconds? Finally, Cody Welch and Benjamin Lacey getting side by side out there, hopefully looking to work together and get something a little bit going on. But everybody else staying nice and quiet here toward the back. I mean, Joshua McQuiggan, who led some laps, sitting down in 19th. Dylan DeCastro sitting 20th. Kevin Foster, unfortunately, sitting in the 21st position. And I don't know if this is an unscheduled pit stop, but I'm showing Bill Harkins working his way down into pits.
Not sure what happened to Bill Harkins. He should still have enough, just about as much fuel as everyone else. Getting tires.
Interesting change up there. Taking a look, Harkins actually entered pit lane. Lap number 1 for a top off. Lap number 22. Lap number 44, and now on 68. Huh.
Is this his first time getting tires?
I don't think so. He got it back
Okay.
lap 20.
Okay.
So, I'm
Eddie
sure-
Hagee into the wall again.
Here we go. Harkins getting back up to speed. Pedro Leon coming on down. All right, they're thinking
Pedro
this
Leon
might
has
be it.
broken toe link on the left front, it looks like. The way he was turning into that stall.
Let me see if I can check here. Waiting. Hopefully he didn't speed. Taking a look, Crocker Jr., Victor Weaver coming on down. I would say right now they were saying, what Bill was saying, about 32 laps is what we're looking at on a fuel run. If
Really not
that's-
a lot of laps.
No. So if that's the case, most of these guys came in on lap 44. So we are starting to enter that pit window here. We'll say, seeing Crocker Jr. came down, he came in on lap number 33, but it's hard to really question that when we had so many cautions that allowed this to stretch out so much farther.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yep. Then I think most people expect it. Ricky Hart coming on down.
Seen our first green flag pit stops of the day. Well, where will this cycle out the field? Nick Nickerson so far ahead. As long as he doesn't speed, he should be able to maintain the lead when he comes back out.
But his 1.2-second lead has been cut down to 0.3 of a second.
Lacey catching fast. Lacey in the highest place he's been all day today.
Yeah. Right now I'm calling Benjamin Lacey early. I think he's due. And now this guy's had a boatload of bad luck. Right now he's all over Nickerson. And Nickerson was in the
Nick is
process
loose.
of trying to get a little bit going there.
Yeah, Nick now with lap traffic in front of him. Dirty air evens out the playing field. Ricky Hart Jr., I meant Benjamin Lacey, to the lead.
All right, where's Paul Wilson? What in the world? Okay, slowing down for pit. Good Lord. Yeah, you always get a little nervous. You look up there in the timing tower and somebody goes from the 8th position and falls to 20th.
All the way low.
And you're like, oh no, what has happened? That's not
Oh, Benjamin Lacey, not Benjamin Lacey. Brennan Jackson almost goes around out of turn number 2. Big save all the way down to the bottom by Brandon Jackson.
good. Wow. Boy, talk
And
about
everyone's
just-
name is mixed up.
Yeah, that's all right, man. That's all right. Just lucky timing. I'm just floating right where we're starting to see some problems out here. And I'm wondering if everybody's noticing, the tires are starting to feel a little funny here. Once they start wearing down, the braking isn't as good. Some are choosing tires, some are choosing just fuel and go. And a lot of different strategies out here. So maybe your favorite driver will start marching up the field out there, but then again, maybe not. And that may be okay, but I'm hoping not. You would hope your driver would not end up off cycle. Ended up in some trouble. Let's check back here around David Lakey area. Currently sitting in 11th. Yep, that should be him there on the outside. Now in front of Josh Sutherland. See if we can find somebody out there with a little better connection. Hang around and watch Lakey run it out there. Peter Murphy is sitting in 5th. He heads on down.
3 wide, 4 wide just for a moment there. Slowly making his way through, loose in front. That's Jonathan Rutter.
Nope.
Oh! .45 getting mixed up in more incidents. Everyone going to be able to make it through almost unscathed.
Wow.
Ramos.
He saved it too.
A little bit of damage on that front end of Ramos. Wouldn't be surprised if he overcorrected and slammed into that outside wall.
happy-go-lucky. I believe it was on lap number. Here we go. This is getting better. They should be in first order.
Yep, this will be the one. Or maybe he didn't.
Up.
Yeah, 45 really did not lose any speed, which is surprising to see. Now looking to get around Greenwell. Greenwell has been a contender for the lead all day. Now down to, not sure what position he's in.
Who's this?
As Greenwell. Greenwell in 12th. Yeah, as we see lots of drivers start to go down pit road, going to see a lot of mix-ups on position.
Yeah, right now 18th on up is yet to pit. So we're still waiting. Marshall Crocker Jr. pit back early as lap 70. As I say that, here comes Haggy and Sikorsky. And Jason Greenwell, Chris Basson. All right, they're coming on down. Nickerson still hanging in there for third, as Lacey is putting a half a second lead on everybody else. Welch moving on up. He's currently sitting second. Looking at Peter Murphy, currently in the 38 machine, I think. Peter Murphy coming down to lap 75. I believe put him down a lap. He'll be looking to get his lap back here the hard way by passing Benjamin Lacey. Checking some of the fall off. Lacey's last time with a 40.46. That's almost exact, almost to the number. 1 second slower than his best time here tonight of a 39.4. So currently Benjamin Lacey, after a good chunk of laps here, still maintaining speed. How is he doing it on fuel? I mean, we're talking 32 laps. I mean, if he came in on lap 44.
Yeah, I don't know how he's still out there.
There he comes. Huh. Okay, so he's able to squeeze about 4 to 5 more laps out of him here. That's why it's hard to gauge fuel runs with these guys. Depends how long you've been in the draft. Depends how many cautions were out there. A lot of factors out there, but that one brought a bunch of drivers down. Brandon Jackson, Benjamin Lacey, Josh Sutherland, Mike Ramos, Cody Welch, and Matt Crockett. Our drivers come on down. McQuiggan stays out, and Kevin Foster stays out. These guys came in on lap number 48. Looks like 4 tires. No, actually just for fuel only. So after we had caution on lap 43, there was a caution right after that involving Sutherland, Duke, and Phillips. And they came in and fuel and go there, so they'll be able to squeeze out about another 3 to 5 laps here and stay out. Quick caution may help them out. I think they may end up a lap down. Having to pit with this kind of a strategy, I'm not sure, Jackson. You kind of offset pit these guys before and had any luck with it?
You know what? I've never tried. I'm not very ambitious, so I would always just follow whatever the person in front of me is doing or whatever the leaders are doing, and it usually worked out pretty okay for me. I've never been one to be good at pit strategy or give any pit strategy calls. I'm more of a follower there.
Okay, so you choose to beat people on the track rather than use pit strategy.
Oh yeah. I attempt.
I was gonna say that's easier said than done. Sometimes a stroke of bad luck or an ill-timed caution flips the script on a lot of people. I know that changes a lot of things up. That should give us a little bit of a moment here. We're gonna cut to commercial, guys. Take a look at our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
LAT Racing Oils is invested in winning. With industry-leading at-track support, superior engineering, blending technology, and the World Championships to prove it, LAT is your premier choice for racing lubricants. Used by NHRA Pro Mod champions Jose Gonzalez and Chris Thorne, along with their closest competitors, LAT Racing Oil continues to carry top-level racers to the winner's circle in all categories of competition. From engine oil to transmission fluid and gear oil, LAT has you covered from end to end in your race car. A nationwide dealer network means easy access to our products as well. Visit LATRacingOils.com for more.
Appreciate you guys hanging in there for a shout out from our sponsors. 37 laps left to go here at Michigan. Tough race here early in the run. Guys trying to battle for the same spot. We've seen 3 wide. We've seen 4 wide. We've seen drafting, pushing, shoving. And we've seen guys end up taking it back to the garage. One big name that is taking it back to the garage tonight is Brett Guzik. 2 others have joined beyond that. Terry Condis and James Hartley have taken it down to the garage. And I do not know if we are going to see the return of Pedro Leon, who's been in the pits since lap number 69 for the last 13 minutes. So I don't know if he's going to be able to recover and be able to put any sort of race together here tonight. Jackson, did I miss anything?
I don't believe so.
I got our track map up where you see the cars are spread all about out here. Now there's almost no drafting, no touching, nobody anywhere. I would say once guys can get together and clump up, there may be a chance that we see runs start happening again. I would say Ricky Hart is out there pretty close to Paul Wilson. That might be an opportunity out here for these 2 guys. Now they're separated pretty close. I think Jason Greenwell got a couple of drivers around him.
Benjamin Lacey is catching pretty quick. A few tenths a lap. Marshall Crocker Jr., we saw last time when we were watching him, he got real sideways out of turn number 2. That means he is pushing it as hard as he can. And Benjamin Lacey catching that fast. We're definitely going to see a battle pretty quick here.
Yeah, right now Crocker's going to do everything he can to use the draft up from these other drivers that he is working on passing. I would say even the ones that are not laps down don't want to go a lap down. Currently, we're watching the 23 Toyota here of Dylan Nicastro, unfortunately falling to Crocker Jr. there. As currently you see Nicastro trying to squeeze pretty close to keep up with him here. And that'll give an opportunity now for Lacey to make up 3 1/4 seconds with an 11-lap tire advantage. So that should come into play here pretty soon. Expect Lacey to come up with a little something out there. Checking back in on Nick Nickerson. I think him and Brandon Jackson have teamed up. This is our 4th and 5th place drivers. Right now they've got to make up over 6.5 seconds to catch up to the lead. But as they work together, and those 2 also being some of the faster drivers out there on the track, I believe Brandon Jackson's fastest time is a 39:23. That should assist these guys moving up to the front and being able to go ahead and secure podium position for 1 if not both of them out there.
It's good to see these green flag laps getting ticked down. Ticked up, I should say. But either way, definitely getting some good racing in here. Everyone a lot more chilled out. Everyone's a little bit more focused now on what they have to do, and that is finish the race.
Not too much longer. These guys are starting to start feeling the pressure here. I wonder if somebody's going to make a silly move. Tires are going to get spun out. And I would say if we end up getting a late caution here, this is going to be like the beginning of the race again. We're going to see guys come down, get fresh tires, and then try to duke it out for 25 laps. So that's going to be pretty questionable out there. Let's see if they can do it. Right now, I believe we finally got a first group of 3. Josh McQuiggan, Jason Greenwell, and Ethan Sikorsky, 9, 10, and 11.
Yeah, definitely going to have a good battle here, all battling for the top 10. Mark Allen Bivens right in front of them. He's 3 laps down, but still a fast car.
You're talking about chopping off time as well. Benjamin Lacey, 3.5 seconds down, has now got him to within a quarter of a second. And the difference in speed here is pretty impressive. Right now, Lacey's going about 3 to 4 miles an hour faster, so he's going to catch him. See if he can sling into 3 here, and Benjamin Lacey easily taking that lead right back.
Did Crocker not get tires?
Crocker got tires on lap 70. Benjamin Lacey came in on lap number 81 and was half a second faster in the box.
So yeah, Benjamin Lacey, 10-lap fresher tires. We talked to Brandon Jackson before the race. He said at about 15 laps is when the tires really start to wear down. But if we really think about it, he might be talking about, when he's by himself running laps. But obviously when everyone's together, there's dirty air. You're pushing the car a little bit harder, as well as higher top speed at the end of the straightaway. Maybe that, when the tires start to fall off, is a little bit sooner. So 10 laps seems like it could be pretty realistic.
Yeah, I'll buy that. Now it's been doing pretty well. I'm starting to watch some of our guys who did come in on around the lap 70s. If they're going to have to pit one more time, I think everybody currently is going to have to pit one last time. As I am looking, lap 70 guys may have to come in about lap 108. And yeah, so drivers like Benjamin Lacey, now would be the time to stretch it out, because it may be a moot point. He's going to have to come back down into pit. Try to stretch out that lead. Marshall Crocker going to have to come down and pit. So we'll see.
Yeah, if the fuel gap is really, or fuel distance is really what we think it is, about a little over 30 laps, which we saw that did get broken, so maybe 40 laps at the most. But I think that means that towards the end, we're definitely going to see a lot of these drivers come down pit road. Lacey might be able to make it if he saves real good, but it doesn't seem like he's doing that. So, probably going to see most of these drivers come back down pit road towards the end of the race. Or maybe they're all relying on a caution towards the end of the race. We've seen that pretty much just about every race this season. So, wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these drivers are just assuming there's going to be a caution towards the end. I think everyone's going to pit and just keep their position towards the front.
Yep. Benjamin Lacey, when he does come down to pit, he may have the option to maybe not take tires, throw in half a tank of fuel, and get back out there.
Oh, Jackson. Sideways out of turn number 2.
Almost made a mistake. And he collects it up, though. Right now, Jackson is currently sitting in the 4th spot. Nickerson 5th. Looking for Michaelis, but he's back about 5 seconds. Where you can find him. Lacey stretching it out to 3 seconds over top of Marshall Crocker.
Marshall Crocker and Cody Welch now getting close to each other. Gonna have a battle for second.
Yep, in time right now. Cody Welch just going ahead and ticking them off here. One by one. Welch came in on the same lap as Lacey. Not having as much success, though. As Lacey's now out to 3.5 seconds. 25 laps to go next time around. And this race is doing something pretty crazy out there. Here comes Welch. Welch on the bottom. Oof.
He's going to clear just as easy. Got a little tight on entry. Almost came up into Marshall Crocker Jr., but didn't quite. As we now see Ricky Hart Jr. and Paul Wilson down pit road together.
Right. Should start being kind of a hint where our guys are going to start pitting. Now's the time. Pit road is
Ricky Hart
open.
Jr. overdid his box. Went through it.
No.
He had to back up.
That's going to cost him some time. Take a look, Victor Weaver. All right. And there's the box good to go. So that is going to allow Paul Wilson to switch it up there with Ricky Hart. So that did cost him about 3 seconds. Wow.
That changes things up for sure.
Yep. Nolan Gross working his way on down. I wonder if now is the time Marshall Crocker needs to pit. Just as I say that. Just as I say it. Yep.
Down pit road goes Marshall Crocker.
Yeah, I like this call here by Marshall Crocker. This will give him an opportunity to have the fresher tires, try to run this out before Benjamin Lacey has to come down and get fuel again.
Oh.
Whoa!
He way overdoes his pit stall. Might be a little bit too far left. He's going to have to completely redo it. This might be the end for Marshall Crocker Jr. He was going to have a perfect stop, and he was going to have to be real fast for the laps to follow. But awful, awful stop. Probably going to lose about 10 seconds. Minimum.
Yeah. Most of our pit lane time hovers somewhere between the 43 and 47 second mark. His is in the 54. Wow.
Oh boy. So I was right about around 10.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt. At least he was able to recover, get down pit road, get back out there. But something tells me he's gonna be driving a little bit of a chip on his shoulder this time. Go out there and try to run this thing out. All right. That leaves our top 14 drivers still on the lead lap. Welch already starting to cut a little bit of the track here.
Yeah, Cody Welch is running qualifying laps, trying to catch up to Benjamin Lacey. He's doing it just a little bit every lap, but at this rate, not going to be enough with 22 laps to go.
Yep, under a tenth of a second is what he is gaining on Benjamin Lacey. Lacey's still keeping some solid times out there. But I would think we're going to be looking at a possible quick pit stop here out of Lacey. Boy, is he going to be able to have enough. Right now, Nickerson down in the pits. All right, that should be your cue. When you see Nickerson come down, he knows something.
That was usually my strategy.
Yep, Nickerson's going to come down. Sikorsky, Greenwell, Bassinger, oh yeah. These guys have figured it out. Because right now, you're going to have Nickerson out there. Put a fresh set of tires on. Or maybe fuel. I'll be checking the time out there for Nickerson. Did Benjamin Lacey stay out? Looks like he does. He has no intentions of coming down right now. Let's get a little bit of Victor Weaver into the photo here.
Victor Weaver on fresh tires.
Yep. Go ahead and let him on by. 18 machine staying high. I would say as the 18 machine snugs in behind Benjamin Lacey here. This is actually helping Lacey out a little bit.
Yeah, he seems to be just staying behind him and pushing him. No teammates here. They are not teammates. He's just staying behind him till now.
Yep. So if I were Lacey, now's where you try to, connect with this guy and try to reel him in. See if you can, how long you can make it. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, only our top 5 are still on the lead lap. Lacey, Welch, McQuiggan, Foster, and Barry. Yep, and Welch has been slowly ticking off a couple of tenths here and there. Now under 3 seconds. As Lacey's starting to get a little bit of a run there down the backstretch. He stretches it back out. Almost touches that 3.1 second area. Cody Welch getting a good turn entry, though. Kind of as you kind of peek and look.
Oh,
at
going
some
down
of the
pit
turns.
road.
Yep. All right.
Everyone in that group has now gone down pit road except for Benjamin Lacey. Benjamin Lacey running it a little bit longer than everyone else. Got to think how long can he do it for? I think he's going to come down this time. I don't think there's any reason not to, as long as he does it perfect.
Yeah, we've seen some guys who had the opportunity and then got kind of trucked out there. I want to even note something that Nick Nickerson had a 54.72 pit stop time.
Oh, something wrong with Nick, huh?
Yep. Yeah, so we're seeing a lot of top running guys are in trouble. See if we can take a peek what happens here. Yeah, normally a time like that should be speeding. I'm not 100% sure where he did speed. Something tells me he sped in.
8th on back, currently a lap down. Jason Greenwell also with a bad pit stop.
Wow. A lot of guys having trouble pitting here tonight. That's going to give us some trouble there. Let's take a look. Benjamin Lacey. Yep, he was able to get 4 tires and get back out there. But currently sitting 3 seconds off is going to be Cody Welch. This one might be Welch's to lose here if he can catch up to Benjamin Lacey. 2.5 seconds and can't get up to speed. Lacey was able to squirt and get away there. That should be him directly in front.
Yeah, Benjamin Lacey still going to have cold tires for just a couple laps here. Cody Welch's tires are already at a good temperature. Now is going to be when he has to push. But it's not going to be enough just yet.
Yep. All right, so still setting in third is Lacey. We'll kind of keep an eye on these two. Way out front, Josh McQuiggan is leading this. He came in on lap number 83.
Gonna have to pit soon.
Boy,
unless he's saving really hard.
Well, he's caught in the middle here with a lot of draft. I would say him and Kevin Foster. Foster came in on lap 84. I mean, maybe it can be done. I mean, that still means Kevin Foster's got to make up almost 41 laps on the single tank. That's going to be close.
I think it's possible, but I don't know Joshua McQuiggan's skill level on fuel saving. We were always able to see Brett Guzik, sometimes Nick Nickerson, at these more intermediate style tracks be able to save almost 3 to 4 more laps than everyone else. I don't know if he'll be able to save this many laps more than anyone else.
What can they do? McQuiggan looking at a 3 wide happen in front of him, though.
Also, Chance McQuiggan's just waiting for a caution. One car through the grass.
Yep, that should be Chris Massenger through the grass here. I was looking up front. I knew Ethan Sikorsky was around that area. Oh, what?
Great camera view.
Yeah, in case you were worried about who was on the pole there.
Do you think that pole live updates, or is it just a...
It's a dummy.
Ah.
Yep. Oh, yeah, you only get the car number 0.
You mean I'm leading?
Yes. All right, this is us looking at Chris Bassender. Looks like everything calms down just a little bit. Kevin Foster
down pit road. Oh, he might have sped on entry.
Yeah, you see the smoke after the cone.
You never want to see the smoke after the cone.
Nope. Oh, wow. Yeah, we got some guys getting
Caution,
antsy.
flag is out.
And a late caution.
Exactly what Joshua McQuiggan was hoping for. It's Carter Phillips.
So, do you pit? Do you not pit?
If I'm Lacey, I'm not pitting. If I'm McQuiggan, obviously I am, because I'm going to guess that half the field behind the leaders are also going to come down. So I'm only going to be about midfield, especially with majority of the field a lap down. If I'm McQuiggan, I definitely go down. Unless he feels that there's going to be a lot more cautions, because cautions do breed cautions, that'll be able to save under caution just enough fuel to make it to the end if there's enough cautions. We're only going to be about 7 laps to go when we go green. He might have enough to make it. But then again, he's going to be on much older tires.
What?
Just go around by himself on the backstretch.
Yep. He goes backwards right there.
Now, how did that happen?
What?
Oh, loose all the way out of the corner.
What? Here's full speed.
Loose the entire way out of the corner, all the way to the left, all the way to the right, all the way to the left. You ever see that Polar Express scene where the conductor is on top of the train?
And
they're on the lake. Yeah, they're on the lake, and he's telling left and right in different languages. That's what that made me feel.
Well, the whole thing is this takes the entire race for some of these guys out here and just kind of flips on its lid here.
For sure.
Lacey's going to get the lead. Carter Phillips, whoop. I think Lacey's awake. Do. Perfect shine auto spot. With caution replay.
Yeah.
All right, Ramos coming on down in the pit. We get a better view there. So, no one else pits. Does everyone else pit behind him? I mean, you have a driver like Ricky Hart who came in on lap 99. Does he go ahead and...
If I'm Ricky Hart, I think I would. No, actually, I'm a follower. I would only go if the people in front of me go. Now that I think about it. I don't make my own decisions.
Sweeney is a driver like... What about Eddie Haggy? At 96.
Eddie Haggy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's down
Gonna
to
get the wave
17.
around.
If you think about it, he's got nothing left to lose. You know, he's got nothing to lose.
I'd definitely come down.
Yeah, him. I would say Bill Harkins. If they have an extra set of tires, he came down on lap 94. Yeah, just enough to try to level the playing field here. I would ask out there, seeing that our race control is out there in the chat, is there a way to make the race entirely based on RC throwing caution?
There is.
Really?
Yep. I believe that we have it set to iRacing and official, simply for the fact that the officials can't catch everything, and people are going to be a little mad if they get wrecked and iRacing decides, we have it as officials only throwing cautions and they don't see it. So we have it as iRacing.
Huh.
Everyone's
Boy.
stacking up accordion effect in the back as we go green. 8 laps to go this time by.
Not quite sure what that was about.
That was
Everybody
odd
here in the-
looking.
we
Oh,
got a
everyone going
caution.
around.
Oh my. Dude. Dude. I don't even know what to say. Seniors around. Connor Gibson's around. I don't. What? Hi. Matt Crockett. I think it says it starts with Crockett though. 15 machine went off track. And then it started. Let me see if we can check back in this off track. Stacking up, stacking up. Come on, Connor, get that thing under control, buddy.
Yeah, Mark Allen Bivens collected for like the 4th or 5th time today.
Was that Connor Gibson that ricocheted off the wall and came back down?
I don't believe so. I think Connor Gibson got involved later. That was Mark Allen Bivens that went up and down.
Oh,
And Connor Gibson
man.
coming through the middle here. Gets
This is where he
collected
gets
by Mark.
Clipped. Oh, man.
The not-so-Sour Patch Kid.
Kevin Baumler out there. Oh, my gosh. I know, after we just saw Kevin with a win out there. All right. Drivers involved. Coming down pit road. I'll toss it up. Eddie Haggy. He's coming on down. Yeah, everybody's saying right now, Bivens having a rough night. Especially for our points leader, getting smashed up out there. Pretty
Yeah, luckily,
rough.
as long as Mark finishes this race, he'll probably still be close to the top 3, maybe in the top 3 in points.
Uh-oh. I think Senior's debating whether he should take it back to the garage or not.
I believe the Senior is out of fast repairs.
This guy's been a pinball all night. Connor Gibson. Yeah, Connor Gibson, Carter Phillips, Mark Allen Bivens. Those are our 3 guys that have just been having a horrible race here tonight.
Oh, no. Connor Gibson
Yep.
went over the merge line too early. He's going to get a penalty.
Golly. Think they'll wave that black flag or make him serve it.
Oh, they'll make him serve it. But Benjamin Lacey and Brandon Jackson back up front once again. Cody Welch and Marshall Crocker Jr. right behind them respectively.
Come to think of it, taking a look, Benjamin Lacey's trying to be the first 2-time winner here. Lacey hasn't
Yeah,
won.
no two-timers at Michigan.
Yeah, he hasn't won since season 10 here at Michigan. So that drought, he is looking to erase that. Get back to it. And where's Nickerson? Was he ever able to recover? No. Lap down, 22nd. Oof.
Gonna be 4 laps to go when we go green this time. But if we get another caution right away, we're gonna have a green-white checkered.
Wow. All right, here they go, stacking up again. Get toward the top. Notice the problem here in the back. You see everybody on the brake, off the brake, on the brake, off. Yeah, and that seesawing's got to cut it out. I think that starts back
But we're
here
gonna be able to do it.
Bob Berry. Let's see. Welch under fire. Trying to take on Brandon Jackson early. Good.
Cody Welch with a big run out of turn number 4 or 2. There are 3 wide, 4 wide. Josh McQuiggan blinking. He goes down to the inside wall. Jason Greenwell sideways. He comes back up into the field. Caution flag is out. Carter Phillips collected once again. We're going to go to green-white checkered overtime finish. We only get 2 green-white checkers in the Bandit Racing League. If we can't complete it after the first one, we go to the second one. If we can't get it after the second one, we will finish under caution.
This is fantastic. You know, Jackson, I like spending extra time with you, buddy.
Aw, thank you.
Tell me a little bit about OxyClean, the real one.
The one that came 50 years before. We do.
Heck yeah.
Clean parts that use oxygen. Anything from scuba gear to parts on rocket ships.
Cool.
Very cool.
All right. Well, the Real Earth Films 125 is going to extend a little bit. The man sponsoring the race is in the number 1 position. We'll take a look back here. What starts this yellow flag? Is that Welch?
Oh. Yeah, Cody Welch got on the outside wall. Made everyone freak out in the back. Ricky Hart Jr. went around. Not a lot of damage there.
Yeah, I need to find Greenwell is where we originally get really hemmed up here in the back. Let me see if we can get narrow in on him, because I knew we were almost 5 wide. Foster thinks better of it. 19 blinks, disappears. Oh, man, like a homing missile.
Amazing save by Ricky Hart Jr. Almost gets collected. Oh, more cars up there. Connor Gibson tried to muscle his way through into the outside wall.
I see Jennifer asking the 85 to put it to the floor. I think that's what happens here. We've ridden with Connor before. This guy doesn't let off the gas. Let's see. Floor. Still. Yeah, he never lets off. He just holds it to the floor. Wow.
Yep.
Now, from us looking at the outside, you've been on the inside. Is powering through a caution a wise move?
No. But you know,
But
if you no longer go for a gap, you're no longer a racing driver.
yeah, I would say it all depends on the situation. Once the caution comes out, you're not going to gain any positions. You're locked in where you were. But I would say that is only in the case of the caution's behind you. Go ahead and keep accelerating, get to the pace car. The caution and the smoke's in front of you. Just slow down, hit the brakes. Don't try to gun through it. Because I've had where you check up, I've got 4 cars sideways in front of me, and the guy rear ends me and sends me into the wreck. And it's, buddy, there was nowhere to go, and just stop. But, yeah. It's trying to read the guy in front of you and pray for the best.
You know, all I'm saying is 90% of the time, just gunning it works out so well for me. So I don't know. I don't know anyone else's issue, but it's great for me.
All right there, Wall Rider. You can't fool me.
I've never done such things.
Oh, yes, you have. You were the one I think they started considering if you were Hail Melon in it sometimes. Going
Which
up and
track? I don't even
slamming
remember.
into 3 and 4 and sliding it around.
Probably Bristol.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's okay, buddy. We all closed our eyes on that one.
Look, the wall jumped out at me at every single Bristol race ever. It's not my fault. All right, getting ready to go green this time. Green, white, checker, 2-lap shootout. This time by restart on Benjamin Lacey, Brandon Jackson on his outside. Green flag is back out waving here once again.
Yep, 2 laps at the line. Once we get across one more time, white flag, and then it won't matter after that. Right now, there's already fighting there in the back from some lapped cars. Not happy about what's going on.
The whole field spread out every single lane. Caution flag waves. I didn't see anyone go around. Did you?
No, I don't think so. Usual suspects. Come on, Carter. What's going on, buddy? This guy might need one of those Jesus take the wheel sort of deals here tonight. I bet. So Carter Phillips was involved in the lap 0 crash, laps 47, lap 112, and the lap 125 crash. Holy cow. Carter Phillips. What got you into this one? Get out of that garbage.
Oh, Jackson Duke goes around, gets Carter Phillips. Man, Carter Phillips just real bad luck today. Not sure if any of these have been his fault. I'm sure there's been a couple, but goes around by himself up there.
Yeah, why did Duke bounce? Like, as soon as he enters the turn. Come on, drag it to the side a little bit. He's on the bottom and then, like, turns him around.
Yeah, suspension raises just a little bit. Especially, they're not braking, and most of the brakes are towards the front, so it's not like he spun under braking.
Right there.
Oh, there it is, yeah.
Why? You know? Oh, man. You know, I like how the thing never tells me that Duke had a problem. It wasn't even him. Like, he wasn't even involved. Wow. He got maimed. Okay.
Duke wasn't even
Incident
there. I don't know
limits.
what you're talking about.
Are there incident limits?
Not this season. Last season and this season got rid of incident limits. The season before that, this is season 14, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so season 12, we had I believe it was a 17-point incident disqualification, but we did get rid of that.
Huh.
Possibly in the future, and maybe coming back, but not sure. Yeah, it does seem to be the lapped cars battling the hardest towards the back of the field that seem to go around.
Yeah, even RC is saying out there we were so close to finishing with that long green flag run. Yep.
We knew it wasn't going to happen, though, right?
I say it was a setup. It was rigged. How's the guy by himself ended up spinning himself out there on the track and then on the inside?
Well, I was thinking, maybe he was somehow self-spin it, but at the same time, both Jason Greenwell's teammates are Carter Phillips and Eddie Hagge. And that spin did not help either of them. So, I don't think there's any intentions of malice in any sort of way, but definitely a odd situation.
That PC call, I love it. All right, Jim's Auto Works. Thanks, you guys, for showing up here for the night. Jason Greenwell was our guy who ended up taking away the stage win. Finish it up. I'm going to call it this time. Something tells me last lap sponsor. We are so close to getting it. So close to getting it. Pace car lights are off. Deep breath by the rest of the field.
Down accordion.
Try again. Move here toward the top. See? Look at that horrible tower.
And this next flag will end the race, whether it's a caution or I suppose the white flag won't end the race. But as long as we get to the white flag, we will not finish under caution. Got to make one lap here. Side by side, entering turns number 1 and 2. Brandon Jackson looks low. Cody Welch looks high. There's side-by-side contact. Everyone gets loose. Cody Welch into the outside wall. He's going to be able to save it. No caution. One car goes low. There's the caution. That's going to be the end of the race, I do believe. I think we are out of green-white checkers. I'm not going to call Benjamin Lacey the winner just yet until we fully know. But Benjamin Lacey with a drought, like you were saying earlier, could this be his win? Yeah, final lap. They're going to finish it under caution. Benjamin Lacey, your winner here at Michigan in the Bandit Racing League.
Wow. That was
Brandon Jackson.
Win. Yep.
Yeah. Brandon Jackson tried to get to the inside. Cody Welch tried to look high. Brandon Jackson got a little tight off exit, got into Lacey. Bounced off of Lacey, came back and hit Cody Welch. Cody Welch got a little sideways into the outside wall. He's going to go down to 5th. That's where he's going to finish this race. Michaels made his way back up to 3rd. Crocker Jr., after all that tire strategy on that long green flag run, made his way back up to 4th in the final 2 cautions.
All right, we're going to
I believe he was there anyways, but...
See if we can take a look right here over top. This is Welch going top to the wall. And then there was just mayhem
chaos
behind him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Nickerson was involved in this. And showing him
heavy hit.
Crashed out. Boy, yeah, this is way ahead of him. How many people are going to hit the wall?
Man, everyone wrecked. Multiple different wrecks all happening out of turn 2.
Was that the 31 at Connor?
Oh boy.
Who was that? Bivens?
Mark Allen Bivens across the track collects Foster.
Dude.
And almost Bill.
Trying to figure out who up front kind of is in it first.
Everyone.
Yeah, I mean, how? Okay, I see Kevin Foster. Look at that. It's a puke cam moment.
Here comes Mark Allen Bivens. Foster. Oh.
Here we go. All right.
Well, Peter Murphy gets loose, stacks up the inside lane, and then everyone.
Look at Nolan Gross. Foster. Lane closing. Bill Harkins close to a top 10. Wow. All right. Looks like everybody's still marching it out here. Awesome job here. They're going to let RC take a quick look. Should have it. I think they were poking, making sure on our official times here. Make sure nobody's all messed up. Boy, and that's something. I'm taking this race and flipping it on its head, buddy. Daggone. Yeah, Chris Passenger picking up 23 positions to finish 9th. All right. Fantastic race here so far. Finally comes to an end after a couple of overtimes. Right now, I believe, lap 130 is where she ended. Awesome. All right, guys, we're gonna try to run our guys down, and we'll be right back.
LAT Racing Oils is invested in winning. With industry-leading at-track support, superior engineering, blending technology, and the World Championships to prove it, LAT is your premier choice for racing lubricants. Used by NHRA Pro Mod champions Jose Gonzalez and Chris Thorne, along with their closest competitors, LAT Racing Oil continues to carry top-level racers to the winner's circle in all categories of competition. From engine oil to transmission fluid and gear oil, LAT has you covered from end to end in your race car. A nationwide dealer network means easy access to our products as well. Visit LATRacingOils.com for more.
All right, everybody, we catch up with Zach Michaelis. Well, this race was kind of flipped upside down, around backwards, and then out behind the stands. Man, you came in for for a pole win here tonight, but we were unable to finish the race. Your Chevrolet won, the only one to finish here in the top 3. This race was something, man. Talk to me a little bit about it.
Well, I kind of screwed myself over there on like lap 15 or something. We were able to get the pole, and once I think it was Nick, he got by me. I got aero tight coming off a 2 and smacked a wall, and then broke the right front toe. And I had to drive it like that for, I don't know, like 10, 13 laps. And then I finally just said, screw it, I got to come down pit road. And I came down pit road, and it somehow worked out perfectly right that I was able to get some fuel in, get the fast repair going. I didn't take tires because I wanted to save a set for the end of the race, but yeah, just somehow the way the caution fell, I was able to cycle right back to the lead. And then I still had to drive it with that worn out right front, but we were able to make it work. And then the rest of the race from there was just execute and gain positions back, and we were able to do that and come back P3. So it wasn't a bad race overall, but definitely could have been better.
With the cautions after cautions after cautions, man, were you nervous about your finishing position?
I'm always nervous when the cautions come out. You never know what's going to happen. You never know who's going to go where. You never know who's going to be aggressive, who's going to give you space, who's going to take your space. So you always go to the drop of the green flag. Everything kind of goes black, and you just kind of hope you see the checkered flag alive.
Wow. All right, man. Well, hopefully we see your attendance a little bit better here as we move on to Long Beach. I'm assuming are we going to be excited if we race there?
I'm scared.
That's that right turn, buddy. I swear, everything else is okay except that hairpin right turn. That's where I'm gonna have to pass. Absolutely not. And I was going to say, that's probably only going to be cautions and sections. That's not going to be the whole track. Ooh, boy.
Well, you would think so, but at the same time, the ruling is if the entire track is blocked on a road course, then there will be a caution. With a street course like that, where there's no runoff, I expect to see a caution.
I
At
think there'll
least
be
one
more
or
than
two.
just one.
Yeah, I expect to see a few.
Sweet. All right, Zach, congratulations on the third place finish here, buddy. Go and give me shout outs.
Yeah, just another big thank you to Composite Performance for letting me hop over here as always and do these races, and to our sponsors, Grid Engineering, SimLab, and P1 Dock Setups for their continued support.
Wow. All right. Some big names there. All right, Zach, congratulations, buddy. See you next week.
Thanks, guys.
Oh my gosh. I feel special. We had like real juice in there. All right. Let's get you lined back up with Brandon Jackson here. Oh my gosh.
Hey, Brandon, talked to you at the start of the race. Now I'm talking to you at the end of the race. A weird, strange line of events there happened, but you got back up to second, couldn't quite get up to the lead. You only had limited time. Tell me about at the end there what you could have done to get around him, and how you feel about this race went for you.
Race went pretty well for me. Kind of messed up one of the under caution we had. I think it was like a little after halfway. I slid through the pit stall, so I lost some track position there and was just struggling to get back through the field after that. Then when we had that long green flag run, Ben was able to save tires a little bit more than I could, and he was able to get through that little pack and then catch up to Nick, and he took off in the distance. Thought I had a pretty good play at it. If we stayed green under that last green flag pit stops, but it just was not meant to be with the cautions. Caution came out, and me and Cody were just pretty much fighting for second. And every time we came out of turn two and the caution came out, me and him just kept flip flopping spots. And then there at the end, I did a little hoorah move, going in the 1 and 2, trying to get as much as I could. I seen Ben kind of checked up a little bit through the center on that last restart. Got on the not as bank portion of the track and 1 and 2 on the bottom, and got just lost the nose a little bit. Got into Ben a little bit, and then I seen Cody. I think he got loose. I'm not quite sure, but he got loose, which I was grateful for because I could get back to the high side and get Ben's draft after messing up. But caution come out again, so we're not gonna complain too much. We got a good finish. So man, it's just one of those races where you're like, damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah. Um, Brandon, tell me about how you feel going into Long Beach. I couldn't decide if I think that you're gonna love it or if you're gonna hate it or not, or maybe you're gonna hate it so much that you're gonna love it. Tell me about how you feel about Long Beach.
Oh, it's gonna be absolutely miserable, and I'm gonna hate every single second of every single lap there. But we're gonna come out here, we're gonna get the job done, and we're gonna leave there hopefully not wrecked. That is my sole goal, is
That's
just not get wrecked and not bombing into one of these corners and go all the way into hell, I don't know. I'll probably end up at LAX by the time I hit the brakes at one of these corners. But Long Beach should be fun. We went there a few years ago, and I did decently, or decent. Well, not. I don't think I got a really good finish, but I was top 10. Gonna have to put some lap times in there. I'm not one who likes practice, but I'm definitely gonna have to put some laps in there because this car on the street course that's that bumpy is gonna be absolute havoc on us.
for
So
sure.
we thought we couldn't drive in Michigan. Oh boy, y'all got another thing coming.
Yeah, I'm very excited to watch that and watch you uh, put those laps down at Long Beach. Any sponsors or shout outs you'd like to give?
Um, and just shout out to you guys for putting on the good stream. I know we haven't been putting on the best of races, but I've seen everybody hopefully everybody had a good time watching and chatting it up amongst each other. Hopefully, as us drivers, we can get our tail out of our cheeks and actually drive these cars and not have incidences every lap after we go green. But it is what it is. We're not professionals. I wish we were professionals, but we're not professionals. Thank everybody that's working behind the scenes to put everything together. And off to Long Beach, I guess. Shit. Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Got him.
Gosh dang it.
Brandon, way to go, buddy. Way to go.
I'm- we'll beat that out in editing. I'm sorry about that.
Sure.
Get me out of here before I say something else. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Get him out of here.
Give him the boot. Give him the boot. Brandon Jackson. Boy. Foul race, foul driving. Oh, God, here we go. Benjamin, hey, I got at least some positive news. You came away with a win even after sponsoring the race, man. And finally, a two-time winner here at Michigan. Got to feel good about this.
Yeah, Michigan's one of my favorite tracks. I like coming here a lot. Wasn't an easy win by any means, but got that Real Earth Films filming the Wild Ford up front and was able to keep it. And I just appreciate the sponsor for the car and also for the race. So it's a good win for us and the company as well. So super stoked about that. But yeah, definitely not an easy win by any means whatsoever.
Yeah, and it was an oddly populated race this time. Normally, we don't have quite as many. You think that's what kind of led us to so many cautions here tonight?
Oh yeah, obviously the more cars you get, the more cautions that are going to come through. I noticed like when you jump from like 24 to 30, there's something about those extra six, set of cars or wheels on there that just play a little havoc into the race and add a little more cautions. And the other portion of it is this car, the draft is super, super powerful. And so it creates a lot of tight racing, especially here. If you can get a green flag pit stop in, then it kind of opens up the field a little bit, which is we were able to do. But if you can't get to that point, it's just going to stay packed like that, and it just gets worse and worse as you get closer to the finish. So pretty fortunate, honestly, to get to that point where we were able to actually spread out a little bit and get some green flag stops and some green flag racing in. So I thought that part of the race was actually really fun, and I enjoyed that a lot, and was a little frustrated when that caution came out because I knew it was going to be a little in the boxing ring there to close it out, and that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, very, very difficult out there once that final caution did come out. I want to talk to you right before we get talking about Long Beach here. Almost 3 wide coming out of 2. We got Cody Welch to the outside. We've got Brandon Jackson to the inside. Car starts getting tight a little bit. Walk me through it.
Yeah, so those restarts, I was noticing, it's a catch-22 because if I lay back and kind of keep the cars on the bumper, then they can just kind of get a run, move around you real quick, or if I jump out like that, then they can get also a bigger run and come up on you that way too. So I was noticing out of turn 2, that's where the big run was coming, and cautions just kept coming out before they could actually finish the move. But that 3 wide one, that was a little tense, not going to lie. Brandon sent it down underneath, which I knew he was going to do. And then Cody came up on the outside. And, either way, your car's going to get tight at that point. Especially like for in Cody's situation, it kind of blows because you have the aero wash that'll just kind of shove your car up into the wall. And there's not much you can do about it. And then Brandon underneath, he's just pushing it and he's going to get tight a little bit, which makes me tight. So everybody's just tight. And it got super tight. To say the least. And Brandon and I made a little contact, and that sent me a little loose. I was trying to give Cody room up there, but I think the aero wash kind of ended up putting him up into the wall, and that kickstarted a lot of other stuff. I think everybody was just pushing for it and trying to go for it. So it's just what these cars do. I'm sure it's exciting to watch.
All right, everybody else is out there a little nervous about Long Beach. When you say the car gets tight, talk to me a little bit about when you mean tight, like we start losing steering, or we have to apply more input for anybody out there who doesn't know who's watching?
Yeah, so the car gets tight. It doesn't want to turn. It just wants to basically go straight. So you have to compensate for that by letting off a little earlier in the corner and, waiting for the car to do its thing. And then you can get on the gas and go. And really what it is, the front tires are not having enough grip. Or they're not fully sealed to the floor. And so the back tires are picking up the front end of the car, or they just don't have the grip. So you just kind of keeps going straight instead of turning. So you have to end up cranking the wheel a little bit more and doing that type of thing. So it's the importance of being balanced. But yeah, that's what that is. And yep, understeer. Yep.
All right. So Long Beach, I've raced there a couple of times, not in these cars, but the hairpin right turn at Long Beach. Some guys are dreading this one. Whose idea was it for this season?
I may be the guilty party on that one.
Oh my dude!
I I actually was looking through because I was like, man, I want to run some different road courses other than just Watkins Glen, Sonoma, you know,
Orleans.
the typical ones that we run in. I want to kind of like, okay, let's do something a little bit unique, a little different. And so looks like Long Beach actually has a setup for the next gen. So I was like, shoot, let's run it. Let's try it. You know, and actually I turned a few laps at that, you know, a couple months ago and actually felt really good. That hairpin is going to be tight, absolutely, but I'd be more worried about, you know, turn one and the little half roundabout thing, you know,
Yes.
that corner than I would be the hairpin, because that's probably going to be super, super close at that point, especially early on when in the start.
Yeah, guys getting mushed up, and I am hoping I don't see a caution that stops the field where we're having to watch some guys do the Austin Powers trying to get it turned back around. I will laugh on air. All right, congratulations on your win here, Benjamin. Go and give me your shout outs, and let's get you rolled back up and ready for the next run.
Yeah, obviously I'm filming the wild for the car and sponsor the race, so appreciate them for coming on board and being a part. It's awesome. They've got some new content they've recently dropped. So if you guys are into some new lenses and things like that, especially for videography and film and stuff like that, go check out their YouTube channel, Filming the Wild, youtube.com/Filming the Wild. Like their posts, comment on it. Let's get some engagement going on there and really help them get their brand to take off and go. That would be awesome. And then Real Earth Films, with everything that they do for bringing awareness around for you know, the environment of nature and really the balance that it creates for us. They do such an awesome work and awesome job there, so appreciate them for all of that. And you know, we got SimTraX, you know, Jackson up in here this season, so that's exciting. Been fun to watch him grow in that development, and Patrick, you as well. And Stella, if you're watching, we do miss you. We do. And Bill and all the other admins of the league and all the other sponsors and my teammates for being a part. It's awesome.
All right, Benjamin Lacey, we may have a surprise visit by Miss Stella later on in the season, man. But congratulations, two-time winner here at Michigan, and especially after your slew of bad luck here, I think that it was time to go ahead and bring home a win. Hopefully we'll see you continue this role. Benjamin, good luck to you, buddy. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Benjamin Lacey. That was one thing I didn't want to poke too hard on, but he has been having horrible luck for the past couple of weeks, and he has finally come away with a win, the first one here of the season. And Nick Nickerson did not get, he kind of got smothered out there. Unfortunately, Jackson, by his own doing out there, I would say wasn't all the crashing and everything else. It's speeding in the pit, and that's what sunk him.
That'll do it.
Boy, doesn't take much, does it? All right, well, that's going to do it for us here at the Bandit Racing League. SimTraX Broadcasting brought you the Michigan race here tonight. The Real Earth Films 125 came to a close, went to a couple overtimes, and Benjamin Lacey was able to go ahead and close it out here tonight. Appreciate you guys joining and subscribing out there. Definitely got tons of views, 40 eyeballs on us during the race. That was pretty good. I would say if we can keep this cleaned up, a little less yellow fever, we should be in great shape. But until I see you guys at Long Beach next Wednesday, be well, be safe, be kind. We'll see all you guys next time.